So hello, good evening and welcome to a dawn of a new season in P0. I say a dawn, it is round 2 this evening at Australia. Unfortunately I missed last week, my dog had puppies, so with things happening. Oh no, I actually think I had some family over. So anyways, we're on round 2 of a new season. It is Australia and we'll get a rundown of exactly who is where for this new season. So, teams Alpha Tauri this season is Arwen and Leon. In Mercedes, we have our Revs and Dale. I'm not sure who our Revs are. I wish it's really tough. People should make their Discord names or gamer tags. In Aston Martin, we have Matty and Luke Lass. Alpine, we have Mika Lando and Adam, i.e. Dixie. Then in Haas, we have Ray and Manam. I'm not really sure who Ray is, unfortunately. Williams, we have Rory and Finnegan. Ferrari with Scarman and K-Pax. McLaren, we have Rob and Shiv. Alfa Romeo, we have Kristaps and Buckle. And Red Bull, we have Chubby Slug, and I think Big Hairy Jock has left the server, so he is not there. In terms of the first race, Skarma took an early lead in the championship. He leads away in 39 points. Rob Wills, Mr. Consistent, he's always up there. He's in second off the first race in 33. Mika Lando in P3 on 25. Matty P4 and 22. Shiv P5 and 21. Lucalas P6 and 13. Leon P7 on 12. Arwin P8 on 11. Chubby Slug P9 and 10, and Dixie rounds out the top 10 in the championship so far on 9 points. McLaren take an early lead in the championship. They got a 15-point advantage. They're on 54 to Ferrari in P2 on 39. Then Ferrari only have a 4-point margin to Aston Martin after the first round. They're on 39. Aston Martin on 34, and then Alpine only a point behind Aston Martin in P4 on 34 points. Then there's a bit of a gap, 17-point gap to Alpha Tauri, who are tied up with Mercedes for P5, both in 17 points. Then in P7 we have Red Bull on 12, P8 is Alfa Romeo on 8, P9 is Haas on 4, and then P10 for the Constructors is Williams on 1. And look at that, just as I finish the overview of teams and the first race, the timer is about to end. Good evening, Skarma, Mitsumat, Rob, Mika Lando. I hope you're all well, and I wish you all the best of luck this evening. So, oh, and I didn't realise I could hear my own audio through that. Sorry if you could hear that coming over myself, chat. I do apologise. At least I know you can hear me. So, on to Australia. Apparently Bahrain was very entertaining. It's a shame I missed it. So, hopefully the guys can have more of the same. Although, I always find in race scenarios, first sector at this track's very difficult to navigate. And I think if guys really try and race there, it ends up opening up the pack pretty quickly. So, we'll see if people just wish to single file the first sector and then push on through. Will we see any difference of wings and see that middle sector really open up some racing? Yes, no mention of weather in the race, although that probably leads me to believe that there's maybe weather inbound. Shiv says he's scared. Yes, I'm usually pretty nervous coming into Australia as well, especially that fast chicane, which you approach much quicker with the new and improved Sector 2 in the circuit. So drivers need to be very aware of that. Let's get all the data on the screen. I think we've got it all. We can get rid of that as well. And now we wait. 18 driver strong grid, which is good to see. So pretty full. We just need our driver to scamper out onto track. We can maybe do some onboard action. Let me actually just blue screen this now. Do an audio balance chat just to make sure before anybody leaves to go on track. And just as I do that, we have Rip in his Haas heading out. So get a little look, we will follow him on, and then we can maybe just before anybody gets in on your hot laps, we can get a quick look at how Sector 2 has, well at least I think, been dramatically improved. Turn 3 there has been opened dramatically as well. It's much more wider on entry. So here we go, heading down into 7, a much faster corner this year. You carry much more speed through the apex, and then you're absolutely flat now. Of course, Rip won't be, as he's just on his outlap, but absolutely flat out, and this is what takes you all the way up to the fast chicane now. And even after the chicanes, the track's just a little bit different, so you barrel into the chicane. Oh, 1 second, Chuck. So, apologies there, chat. So yeah, as you've seen, after the first chicane, you come down. We'll just stay on board the Rip, as he's going to be the first man. So I'll just go on a talk through the first lap. So heading up to turn 1, we can actually get everything away. Let's get everything off the screen. Then through the Kinka 2, let it run out away, use all of the curb on the exit. Be very careful now in the run down to turn 3. You're going to take the brakes, hook up nicely to the apex, let the car run wide but get over to the right as you can. And oh, he was very brave and throttled there, almost staying absolutely flat out. Careful as you go through the kink. Has he picked up an invalidation there? No, he has not. He's been very lucky. So through the new and improved turn 7, much faster. Then you carry the speed now all the way down to the new and improved. I'm not quite sure what corner it is. My brain's not quite up to speed with Australia just yet. You see, you want to carry a lot of speed on the entry and then flick the car over, use as much of the curb on the inside. He might get an invalidation of that. In fact, he's probably got away with that because he spent some time on the grass and scrubbed the speed off, and down into this new corner at the tail end of sector 2. Then the same old flick right, third to last corner, then into the hairpin second to last, tucks it up nicely. Then a throttle balance as you get. Oh, he's absolutely pinned through the last corner. That's mighty brave. Then up to the line he goes for a 118.8. But they have some drivers. Minam now heading in. I wonder if he is up. And then we have a McLaren behind. That could be Shiv. I think it might be. So let's see, Shiv or Rob. I think it may actually be Rob Wells. So Minam goes at 21.2. And oh, it's going to be Shiv actually. And Shiv puts himself onto a 19.6. I wasn't quite able to get that. Whereas Finnegan, he's just come through sector 2. We've had Luca last going to P1 and 18.6. Arvin Evans slotted in at 20.4 as well. He's in P4 and what appears to be a Mercedes. Is that a team change? Skarma now into P2, 18.726. Let's filter back down the order to see if we can find anything. Michelando heading into the pits. Chubby Slug just left the pits. Finnegan now in an 18.6, only just onto provisional pole. How's Rob Wells getting on? A couple of corners to go. He's a driver expected to be pretty good today. DRS open. And let's see where he puts it. It's going to be, it's an 18.5. Gives yourself 8/100ths of a second ahead of Mr. Finnegan. Good man, Dale. Probably, bar the Red Bull guys, probably the upturn of the season last season for me, Dale. Showed a mighty amount of progress, especially in the early phase of the season. He was electric to watch, constantly getting himself in top 6, top 5 positions. I hope that Dale can find that early form. I hope it was track related and the form is there for him, but he's just starting to spend much more time fluent on the controls. You see, he's delicate through the corners. He's found a rhythm that seems to work for him. So off the last corner he goes, DRS open. And I expect it to be pretty competitive here, maybe a low 19. It's a mid 90, he slots into P8, 19.5. Dixie's been in there on a P7 and 19.0, Leon on an 18.8. Rob Wells still leads the way. Is EOJ on a lap? I think he might be. A little bit of traffic ahead, hopefully they'll get nicely out of the way. Oh, and he picks up an invalidation, so that's his lap over. Rob Wells will be heading into the pits. Chris Stapps and Mika both on out laps. K-Pax. Oh, Chubby Slug's actually on the lap, so he's coming through the fast new turn. Well. Well. that was that then, for Matt. So, Chubby Slug out of the session. So, that kind of caught me off guard, chat. That's... Good evening, Matthew. Your retirement looked a little bit suspicious there, sir. I know it's in qualifying, but I think you could have avoided the retirement massively. I don't understand why you started to drop the car and smash the throttle twice as hard and put it in the wall. It was about to be a nice Larry spin and you turned it into a very, very violent one and put yourself out of the session, you silly man. I think you could have got away with that if you just got off. But it's split second reactions. And yeah, sometimes you just, in the moment, maybe you've tried to get the 360 in, which I can kind of half understand, I guess. So no change at the top as yet. Mika Lando not in a run. Kristaps not in a run. Let's see if we can pick up a driver that is somewhere. No trying, Matthew. No negativity attitudes. Come on. You will make it up in the race. You just need to keep your head calm and not do that. Silly man. So is Dale. Oh no, Dale's well down at his time at the moment. What about Mr. Shiv? Oh! And how does he get away with that? I'll tell you something, he was a brave, brave boy to keep his foot in that one. Scarman now into an 18.4 onto provisional pole. And the man showing some early form. In the championship, is it? Oh, Paul owns shifts into the pit, so maybe that cost him too much time. K-Pax just skimming into turn 1. Let's filter down the front drivers. We do have a look or not, he's just starting a lap. Dixie just starting a lap also. Yeah, I think he is. So let's stay with Adam. I think I maybe caught a driver further up there. It was Luca Lass. No, Luca Lass is behind. No, I think Adam is maybe a lead driver on a hot lap now. So let's go on board with Alpine, man. Carrying a lot of speed, let's see him through the fast kink. Up nicely to the apex, gets on the throttle nice, you see the car dip and move. That tends to mean you've got that corner hooked up nicely. He's choosing to keep the nice tight line through the fast bits. You do not want to be putting a wheel in the grass, that will scrub your time. Get away from the grass, you've got a driver in the inside. Oh, that's a really dangerous place for a car to be sitting, especially in a high speed portion of the circuit. He gets through the fast chicane pretty well. I wonder who that was in the Mercedes. That was mighty dangerous. 3 corners to go for Adam. He's got a sector split in, but oh no, nothing to the line now, so let's see if he can get it hooked up nicely. You see, I think Adam's running a slightly lower line here. Just the front end struggling to hook up. DRS will open, coming towards the line. Maybe gave up a little bit in that last corner as well, but it's an 18.6 and he puts himself up to P5. So where is Luco last? That's him. Oh, he went to the pits. And Rob Wills, I was just about to jump back to him. He now jumps up to an 18.2, but it is very, very close indeed at the top of this grid. Absolutely nothing separating the drivers at the moment. Rip is a little bit down. I think he might be on an in-lap. Finnegan's invalidated. Dixie's on an in-lap, as we know. Mika Lando's not on one. K-Pac's on a lap. No, he's got the energy off. Shiv's just opening laps. Let's go with the McLaren man. I think Shiv's one of our next men to get a lap on. So, wait, is Matty actually on a lap? Yes, he is. So, we'll come back to Shiv in a moment. Matty, who we've not seen set a lap time yet, the only driver that's still running to set one. And usually, he's a soft tire technician, is Matty. He's very good in the race on them, especially. But he's maybe just lagged a little bit in qualifying. I always feel he's been a little bit out of position, but he's about to maybe put himself in a much better starting position. He's up to P7, right alongside his teammate, 18.7. So that is more like the Matty we know in qualifying. He should, if he's really quick getting round, he should have time to get out for another run as well. Where is Chris Stapps? I think he gave up his lap. He's got the energy off. So let's go back to Shiv. Showing me as I'm down by nothing in the middle sector. So if he's got any time in the lap, if he can find it in these last few corners, he should gain a little bit. Shiv has definitely got a low 19, high 18 in him here. If he can hook the lap up, DRS opens, up to the line he goes, and it's going to be, it's an 18.5, he puts himself up into P4, and that is probably one of Shiv's lap of the season, and Leon right behind him puts himself up now to P2 and an 18.3, and it's all changed at the front. Albin Evans now slots into P4, 18.4. Where else do we have laps coming in? Matty's on an in-lap, as we know. What about Dale? Is Dale on a lap? I think he's just opening one. So I'm going to have to try and stay as aware as I can for these last runs, because I think the lap times are going to come in thick and fast. So anybody out yet? Oh, Leon Evans was running on this. He might be actually just scampering through to try and get back to the pits here. Yellow flag, sector 3, so I'm unable to see. Is that driver maybe out of fuel? Yeah, Shiv's out of the fuel. So that yellow flag is stopping me. So 3 minutes, so yeah, if they get in now, we've got time. As long as they've just cranked that new set of tyres on and leave the pits pretty much instantly, they should get out no problem. Although Shiv coming in, this could be a bit of a hindrance to his teammate. Not too much though. I think Shiv should be wheeled out the way in plenty of time. Let me see who's that out first. Oh, I think we've got others further back actually out in the lap. K-Pac's going to be one of our first men to open his lap. Scammer just leaving the pit. So let's go with Chris Stapps for the start of the last runs. Nicely through 1 and 2. Then through 3, so hardly even a corner down into turn 4. Keeps it nice and tidy, carry the speed nicely through the kink of 5, then into 6. Again, carries the speed very well, then down into this new and improved turn 7. Can you get up? You really need to attack the curb and inside there. You find a lot of lap time if you do. He's got a teammate up ahead, so a little bit of a distant toll coming here for K-Pax, which is nice. It's going to help pull him along a bit. Maybe Scam will get off out the way now. And he is going to pull to the inside and let K-Pax go through. Good bit of teamwork there. Carries lovely speed through the chicane. Does K-Pax. DRS open. I think we get it. Have I missed the sector split? I think I did. God damn it. Oh, and he's so close to an invalidation. He's absolutely borderline track limits. And don't go wide there. Oh, and he gets away with it. Somehow he's got away with track limits there. Into the second to last corner. Hairpin nice as can be. Oh, and he's going to back out of that and go into the pit. So maybe down on his lap time. So let's filter through. Where is Skarma? Skarma's just opening his lap. And Finnegan, where is that came from? An 18.0, the Williams man. The man named after my son. Finnegan. My bets are on you, sir. So let's filter back through. I think most of these drivers are just opening laps at the moment. I'm trying to look at the screen bottom right to see if there's anybody on a lap. I think Buckle might be. Yes, he is. So into the second to last corner. It's a good time to find. Look at much tighter than that first run. He's very good off the last corner. A lovely slingshot there. Oh, careful on the grass. Don't cost yourself too much time. And he is going to find some times. A 19.7 gets himself up in to P15, and Mika Lando's out of the session, and it's an invalidated lap for Dale. Kristaps is finished, he's P12 at best. Matty coming up towards the he's just opening a lap. Luke Lass is coming through the fast chicane, and they're all struggling. We're going wide. Dixie's up a little bit. Where is Shiv? Let's filter. So the checker flag has fallen in the session. Trying to see what people are. So Skarma shown as a 10.5 up, so Skarma right in the mix here. Is he going to put that Ferrari on the front row? But there is drivers behind that are looking to dislodge that, so the DRS will open, drivers will get out of the way up ahead. Skarma comes to the line. Where can he go? He finds a 10.5, but it's only enough to stay P4, so where else is other driver? Dixie, I think 2 corners down. What about Shiv? Oh no, that's Rob. It's Rob coming up through the last corner. He goes. Dion, he spun the car. Rob's dropped off the last corner, so that's his pull chance over. What about Leon Evans? Oh, we've got Dixie coming up to the line now. Oh, and Dixie's not had a good final lap either. But what about Leon Evans? Oh, and he's got 100% energy. He's just taking the flag. And that could be it for Finnegan. What about Rip? Can he improve? No, he does not. Kristaps is not in a lap. Buckle's taking the flag. And that is qualifying over Finnegan on pole position. I'd have loved to have known how much Rob Wells was up in that last run to see if it was enough to get Finnegan. Just drops off the last corner. Finnegan on pole, Rob Wells P2, Leon 3, Skarma 4, Armin Evans P5, Rip P6, Shiv P7, Dixie P8, Lukolas P9, and Matty rounds out the top 10 for round 2 at P0. Close session. We just need to look at the gaps between 2nd and 10th, even 11th, half a second splitting them. So this race is absolutely on. So I think we're just waiting on Kristaps taking to his pit box, and then the session should end. So, final classification: Finnegan P1, Rob Wells P2, Leon 3, Skarma 4, Armin at P5, Rip P6, Shiv 7, Dixie 8, Lukolas P9, Matty in P10, Michelando P11, Kristaps 12, K-Pax P13, Dale 14, Buckle 15, EOJ P16, Minam P17, and Chubby Slug in P18. So now we just wait, of course, formation lap, and then onto the race. In fact, I'll take this chance chat to grab the restroom so I can take minimal breaks in the race. Bear with me. So, in my headset chat, I hear sprinkles. And it is, I mean, that looks like full wet conditions. I could be wrong, but it's a lot of blue tyres I see if you look down in the bottom right hand corner to Dale's pit box there. The tyres on the pit wall tend to be the tyres of the race, so we can actually go and have a little peek maybe. I always need to do this twice, I never understand it. So it is full wet conditions. So it makes the race very, very interesting for all. And have we got slightly higher wing setups for some? Of course, that is going to hamper a lot because once the traction's down, you really want the car to go as fast as possible in the straight, but maintaining speed. Well, let's see how it goes. Shiv says bottled a front row. Oh, that's unfortunate, Shiv. Track position in these conditions as well is going to pay dividends. So the timer is on 10 seconds. We will get set. No point looking at what tyre everybody's on because I think it's safe to say they're all on the wets. So now we wait for them to get round. Tyre prep is going to be mighty critical. So we'll just leave it on. I'll give you a look at the tyres, but it's safe to say they're all going to be on the same. So I'll just leave it in position changed. And we have Finnegan leading the way. So championship leader down in P4. McLaren sitting well, P2 and P7. So constructors wise, they're starting in a good position at least. They're the best off team in terms of highest up drivers. But that means absolutely nothing in these conditions. You just have to get through the race. Don't take a lot of risk, because you're probably going to find that drivers make mistakes today, and I don't think you should go fighting for positions. I just don't think it's worth it, and wait till people make mistakes and then capitalise on those mistakes, because they will come, especially those further down the order. They have no reason to take a lot of risk. Drivers ahead, there will be things happening in these conditions, especially in that fast chicane. So in that regards, just keep your head down and get through the opening laps, sort into your rhythm, and then see where your race goes from there. But good luck to all. I suspect, it's a shame it's a bit raining, it could be quite a dull race, but hopefully it won't be. So let's go to Chubby Slug, who's at the back. Going to be a driver to watch. In fact, Matoman usually very, very good in the wet conditions. And he's starting from the back of the grid, so expect him to be coming through. But our priority must sit with the front of the grid. We get a nice view. It's a nice view up the pit straight there. You see the cars all taking their grid slots. And Aston Martin just trailing behind a little bit. That's Nicolas Amati. And then we should have lights for round 2. The Australian Grand Prix. So it's lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. And I have absolutely no idea who's going to better start, so I'm going to go on board, and it is Rob Wills. He seems to find the traction on that inside line, and look at Leon Evans as well. Finnegan's been bogged down, and he's going to fall to P3. We've got Haas absolutely flying in that inside line. Who's that? That's Rip, really trying to push himself on through. I think Leon Evans wasn't expecting that coming. Let's filter back down the order now as they go 3 abreast in some places coming down this back straight. They're going to have to be careful into the braking zone. Tippy-toey stuff, just get through the corner. There's an Alpine being pushed all up inside to the wall there. I don't know if that was Dixie or not. Did he pick up any damage? He has not. I think it was Dixie. So through they go. Turn 6 for the first time. You've got to be careful in the wet conditions. Do not over push that throttle. So it's Rip from Rob, from K-Pax, from Leon, from Finnegan, from Arvin, from Shiv, from Skarma, from Dixie, from Lukolas at the start. K-Pax is showing up 10 positions. What kind of start has this guy got in the Ferrari? He is absolutely flying. So further down the order, Skarma here trying to maybe make moves, and Shiv's going to go for one down the inside. Not this time. Shiv's going to defend that, and Skarma's going to try and roll his Ferrari all the way around the outside. There's a little bit of contact there. That was Shiv up inside the cup, and now Skarma is going to have an Alpine in his inside line. So here comes Adam and Skarma. Skarma anticipates that. He goes a bit wide, now loses out to Lukolas. So Skarma down 2 positions in quick succession, and that's what I was talking about at the start of the race. One mistake can be massive in the wet conditions. Other than that though, the drivers have done really well to get themselves through the tough conditions. In the first lap, they'll all now filter into their order, and I think hopefully find their way through. So now it's status quo. Rip up 5, K-Pax up 10, Rob Wills still in P2. He did of course get the lead, but Finnegan, the leader, down to P5, so not having the greatest of starts in the wet conditions. But nevertheless, he's got a pole position, and look at the Ferrari. K-Pax now comes for a run, and Rob, will he be able to get close enough? I don't think so. Rob is a wily old fox as well. He'll be smart in his car positioning and make it as tricky as possible. And the train begins. So Finnegan starting to catch back onto the back of Leon. Oh, and we've got a safety car out. Oh, and Buckle's lost his wing, and that has a wing off, triggering the safety car. So everything will continue on, absolutely no reason to pitch. Lap 2 and the wet tyres last pretty well here. Unless of course you got some damage. Now's the time to take a cheeky pit stop, although if you're going to fall to the back of the order anyway, and Lukolas is going in. From P9, so I think he maybe picked up some early damage, and we've got Matty and Chubby Slug both in as well, so they're going to try and rectify the early damage, get a new wing on, reset at the back of the pack, and try and work their way through off the restart. So we now wait. Buckle's going to have to come in and get a wing. So we are going to have a bit of a delay, because when Buckle will come in, take his new wing, and then he'll need to catch back up to the front of the pack, or the back of the pack I should say. But it gives him another opportunity now. Just got to get himself back up the road and see if he can recover. He's never going to fall off the lead lap, which is fine. So he is about 50 seconds down, so he's probably going to take, I could probably see safety car in lap 5, onto lap 5. You just got to be careful, he's still on a cold tyre, this buckle. Oh, and he's managed very well to stop that getting in the wall. So hopefully, I think at this point, safety car will just go on the end of this lap now. I don't think Buckle's going to get the opportunity to catch up. So tyre prep should be key. He gets a time penalty for good measure. And safety car is in this lap. So Rip becomes the de facto safety car. He is the pace setter. Oh, and you can't be going up to 90 miles an hour and back to 60. Can't be doing that. Oh, and I think Buckles he's went way too early here. Oh no, he's managed to get away with that one. But yeah, I think that certainly needs to be looked at. He had a big lunge away, he took the pack from 50 to 100 miles an hour and then way back down to 60 and then launched the pack, so I do not like the tactics at all. But we are back racing, and let's see if there's any gaps anywhere to be seen that may entice some attacks. So Leon Evans still under pressure from Finnegan. Finnegan tried to work his way up. Look at K-Pax all over the back of Rob Wills. So it levels out yet again. Rip leads away, Rob's 2, K-Pax P3, Leon P4, Finnegan 5, Arvin P6, Shiv P7, Dixie P8, Kristaps P9 and Scammer P10. Scammer and Matty, they're doing a bit of racing. I think Matty maybe had a little bit of a moment. Scammer able to get through, and Leon Evans set the fastest lap of the race, and now that has been changed by Dixie, who's managing to get himself back up onto the back of this little train to P4. So he could be one to watch once he gets there. He's clawed 2 seconds out that pack, so and I feel Kristaps K-Pax at the moment has a bit more speed than Rob. And are we going to see the move here? Oh, a little bit of pushy, and you see there, the minute you get offline, it becomes very, and K-Pax was aware of that. He second guessed the overtake there. Never done anything wrong. Absolutely fine and fair dues, but yeah, just it's so hard once you get offline in the wet tiles. Although this could maybe be an opportunity. See, I think just felt like he could use some energy sometimes. I think he's very good off the corners compared to Rob at the moment, and that's when he should strike. He should really try and get in that energy early and push himself through. Oh, and Finnegan's went wide, and this is going to cause a bit of a melee here, although gets himself orderly back onto the circuit. Does not get himself in Arwen's way, but Arwen Evans is going to take this opportunity to try and get himself up alongside. So are we going to use some racing action? They'll be side by side as we go up into turn 1. Arwen Evans just can't do enough. Get himself ahead. Finnegan limits the damage. After having a little moment, he'll be pretty happy with that. So I'm wondering what's going on with Adam. He seems to keep getting himself up onto the back of people and then falling off the orbit. But this little battle here, I've been watching this one brew the full race. K-Pax is just his stalk and prey at the moment, I feel, and just waiting for the moment. I think he can see he's definitely quicker than Rob at this part of the circuit, but then I think Rob's running a bit less wing. So this is where it becomes tricky. So is he going to get on the energy? He is not. Oh, and Shiv and Arwen, here we go. Shiv goes through. Up, oh, what's happened there? What's happened? What's happened? We have a yellow flag. Is that a VSC? For what? I wonder why the VSCs came out there. Is it a VSC? Oh yes, the boards are certainly saying it. So back to green flag racing we go, with a big chunk of lag. That was not nice to see. Arwen Evans, our first man to pick up a time penalty for multiple warnings. It's not been the season start that Evans brothers would be looking for. So here we go, K-Pax is on the energy now, he's really trying to hunt Rob down. Here we go, he's going to get on the push. But Rob, that McLaren, I tell you, has got some straight line speed in the car. And proving a very, very tough man to get past. Is the weather changing? Start to see some blue skies in the distance. So Rip sets the fastest lap and then Rob trades and Finnegan into the pit, so that's interesting. Could this be changeover inbound? Is this an intermediate tyre? No, it is not. It's a full wet. So K-Pax still stalking Rob, not much change there for the bit. Although let's see this little battle here, Matty v Skarma, this could be something. See if anything brews. Oh, and look at the gaining speed of Matty here. He is absolutely charging against Skarma. So is he going to try and slot it round the long way at the hair fast chicane? Sorry, not this time, but he'll try and look for the exit here. Get straight on the energy, so he is on the hunt. But Skarma, I think, has got enough at the moment to hold him off. Down at the back of that second DRS zone. Now we're going to see Dixie make a move here. Gets on the energy, as does Arwin Evans. So Arwin Evans is certainly going to defend more against Dixie. Dixie will be hoping to get through though, Arwin having that penalty. And Dixie picks up one with him. But there's his chance, but he's not using the energy. I should have seen Arwin going a little bit wide there. That was his opportunity to get on the energy. Let's go back though, because somehow our top four are all within a second of each other. I don't know where this has happened, but absolutely race on. Everything from Dixie downwards. The gaps are just a bit big for Racing Chat, so I'm not trying to stick with one person. I want to give everybody some screen time, but if they're driving alone, it's just not fully worth it. So K-Pac's looking really punchy now, and look how close he's got to Rob Small with the contact. Dixie's looking to eventually get through in that one in Arwin Evans, so maybe Arwin Evans not willing to hold him up much longer. I'm just going to let him go and do his thing. But Rob Wills and K-Pac's fighting is allowing Rips to get himself up the road again, so he's got that gap to out over a second. We've got 19 laps to go. Conditions pretty stable in what they are at the moment, so I don't think we're anywhere near a changeover in tyre. Oh, so there's an intermediate tyre just set the fastest lap of the race. So Luco last on the inters, setting the pace. And I think that's all the sign the others will need to get onto that intermediate compound tyre themselves. So is any of the leaders going to jump now they've seen that fastest lap pop up and what tyre it was on? Because if they are, this is the time to do it. And somewhere in all that, Rob has lost time. And here comes K-Pax against Rip. Is he going to try and roll it all the way around the long way? He gets the Ferrari side by side, there's a bit of contact. Whips, he's so relentless in unwillingness to cede a position ever. So K-Pax will get all up behind them again, and is any of them going to pit? No, they are not. So let's see, Shift chooses not to. Is Dixie going to box? He is, so in for the inters. He goes. But in behind, and he gets a reset to track that he clipped the outside wall, and that is going to cost him a chunk of time now. So now the race opens up and things will start to get very interesting. Let's stay with this battle between K-Pax and Rips. K-Pax trying to go down the inside. Rips will try and defend it round the long way. We'll go on board now as they're side by side, but I think K-Pax is going to get through, and Matty now sets the fastest lap in the intermediate compound tyre. It is very much Inter's in play. So have the leaders done themselves a disservice to those that have boxed now? Let's see how powerful that undercut is. Of course they've got the warm-up phase of the tyre as well, so let's see how this changes the dynamic. So, let's stay with the leaders. K-Pax eventually hits the front in a long and drawn out race for him. he was just binding his time, but I think now it's got to intermediate tyres. He maybe feels like when the drives come in, he's maybe not the hot favourite or the fastest, so now was the time to get some damage done, and he's still choosing not to pit. So Rob's in, Shiv's going to continue on, Leon Evans is in, so this is the interesting thing now. Let's see. Oh, Lukolas is going to be miles through. Lukolas has got this absolutely spot on. This man is about to retake control of the lead of the race. Now let's watch those further down that took the intermediate compound tyre. Where is Dixie? He's coming through the final, and I think Dixie's going to get a good jump on a few drivers as well here. So he was racing Leon Evans, but they're going to have the warm-up phase. He's going to go through on Matty and Skarma. As Matty's ahead, but he was 5 seconds down the road. That gap, 3 seconds, 9/10 to Matty. Yeah, he's definitely gained a bit. So all change at the front. Lukolas is going to be 6.5 seconds up the road from everybody. He has got the inter-tyre changeover. Oh, and Chubby Slug's out. This could be a safety car. And the safety car is out. And Shiv, oh, I think he's timed that to absolute perfection before the full course yellows come out. And that now gives those at front a get out of jail free card. So I think that really hampers the guys like Lukolas. Well, I think Lukolas might still have enough to get through, but I think that's it. Rob Wills is going to be hurt massively for this, as is those behind. So Rob Wills really wants to get going here. He wants to try and jump as much of the pack as he can. He gets on the energy, but I think it's going to be P4. Dixie and the crew pushing through. Dixie's going to be in P8. That's the best they're going to get. And Finnegan, the man that was on pole position at the start of this race, down 10 to P11. I'm hoping he can make a comeback now in the intermediate compound. The K-Pax is the man of the day so far. Up 12 positions, so they're on an order after everybody's had their pit stops. As K-Pax P1, Shiv 2, Rip 3, Rob 4, Leon 5, Lukolas P6, Matty 7, Dixie 8, Starman 9, Arwen P10, Finnegan P11, EOJ 12, Dale 13, Mika 14, Kristaps Minham P15 and Kristaps P16. Dixie, Arwen and Dale are only 3 drivers with penalties at the moment. And we have literally just got to the halfway point of the race. Rain is lessening, so could we go the full circle and go all the way to the dry compound tyres? So just a case of waiting on the drivers at the back catching up with the pack. So safety, oh, a very, very late call on the safety car in this lap, so K-Pax will need to check them up pretty quickly. And when does he choose to go? So he's got going now, right off that last corner, as is Rob Wills. Everybody gets the launch. Has anybody got the run? Let's have a look as we get back to green flag racing. It's lap 16 of 29. Now this is P0 Australian Grand Prix. K-Pax leading the way, Shiv in P2 now. Rip P3, Rob Wills P4, McLaren looks set for another good day in the office. But what's happened to both McLarens there? And Rip as well, he is down the order massively. And what has happened there to the McLarens? It's Dixie now going to try and make a move, and Rob Willie try and slide it down the inside. Rob leaves some space, and there's something going on with Rob's McLaren there. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but Dixie's got himself through. He appears to have no damage. That's what I was trying to look behind there for, to see if Rob had got himself any damage, but he has not, and I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there. So K-Pax now gets a 3.2 second gap. Lukolap's in behind, but of course Lukolap's on a slightly older tyre. Probably doesn't mean too much in the wet conditions as Mika Landos at the moment. He's further down the order and spun the car. Probably got some damage now. Finnegan picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. So we've got all changes. Matty and Shiv now do a bit of racing down into the fourth to last corner. There's a little bit of contact there. Shiv manages to keep the front of the car collected up, and that's allowed Dixie to come and maybe have a look and get involved, but not the place at the track to really make a move. Shiv will show intent to defend at that inside line, so Dixie's just going to have to play the long game. Matty holds off Shiv for now. Gap to the leader, 2.9 seconds. Shiv's K-Pax setting the fastest lap of the race, a 32.222. So Rip and Rob here doing a bit of racing, and we got a yellow on, a full course safety car. Why is that came out? Strange. Don't see him. They've had a moment there, so don't understand why we got a safety car there, chat, honestly. Nobody really had a moment. So K-Pax has got to do it all again. I don't think it'll be a long safety car. I could see it in quite easily by lap 19 here. Won't take Mika too long to catch up. 1 second, chat. So apologies there, chat. So a couple of drivers did box, that's interesting. Who pit? Rob Wills pit. Did he have damage? Shiv, what happened? What? Both McLaren seem to get caught up in turn one at the same time. Really unfortunate, very, very similar as well. So no safety car in this lap, so we will have one more. Oh, and Shiv, you say podium gone, but I'm not so sure. Pace has been good. Yeah. Kristaps back into the pits. Now, will he be allowed to catch up here? Was Kristaps in the pack? Maybe not. So I think he might be allowed to catch up. And he will be hoping that safety car does not go in this lap, or he is in big trouble. So a bit of change at the front now. It's K-Pax from Luke, from Leon, from Matty. Top four. K-Pax still in there, but second, third and fourth has changed massively. So how will the race progress? 10 laps to go. And it looks like we are going to have another lap on the safety car. So we should get back to racing on to lap 21. So we will have 8 racing laps to take us to the checker flag. Hopefully no more safety cars. So safety car in this lap, as I thought it would be, so K-Pax will get the full chance to choose his launch point and not just a very small window. So let's go back to the front. And let's see when K-Pax gets us going again. Can Lukolas put him under any pressure? Of course, K-Pax has not had to deal with Lukolas, and we are back to full throttle racing. So here we go, it's K-Pax from Lukolas. Leon Evans been caught napping a little bit. He's all under pressure from Matty and Shiv right there as well, as we head up to turn 1 for the first time off the restart. We've got Dixie under pressure from Rip in behind. Oh, I thought that was Rip I was going on board with, but not this time. And he's going to try and make his way through. Dixie pushing maybe a bit too much into the braking zone there. Tyre's not fully switched on yet, and Rip able to make move of that cutback, but Leon Evans got a bit of a traffic jam behind him, and 2.2 seconds now behind the leaders. As we got Rip now putting Shiv under big pressure. And Lukolas and K-Pax back into a little bit of a dogfight. Lukolas got himself within 0.3 of a second of K-Pax, and K-Pax now having to use a bit more energy. So Lukolas on that intermediate compound tyre looks very, very happy indeed. Skarma picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple ones as Finnegan gets through, and Dale falls behind Rob also, but racing on further back in the order. As we've got Skarma all over the back of Dixie. K-Pax sets the fastest lap of the race. Can Shiv put Matty under pressure? The rain's still falling. Minam gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings while overtaking Dale. I wonder if he maybe did see that position again. Kristaps gets through and Mika Lando gets through and Kristaps, I should say. And it was that going a little bit wide there. That was Leon Evans. Oh, and Leon's on. Matty's got through him, so Leon is obviously running quite a bit of wing here because Matty's straight line speed seems pretty OP there. But pretty evenly matched at the front between K-Pax and Lukolas. Lukolas probably just biding his time. K-Pax has pretty much been played at his own game here. And Lukolas will be waiting for that mistake and then jump on it, but by God did that good boy get that strategy call absolutely spot on. Now sits the fastest lap of the race to 29.8. So looking very happy indeed. Energy's pretty even, but these two are checking out from the pack behind. I was just wondering there if Shiv was going to try and make a move on Leon. So Leon appears to be the cork in the ball at the moment. Oh, whips back behind Dixie, so Dixie got himself back up to speed. And of course, these guys both have a penalty, so this little P6 battle here is very much for track position. Lukolas. Oh, Lukolas has got a time penalty. Lukolas has picked up a time penalty, and he now needs to push through. He has no choice if he wants to try and bridge a gap, or at least, I mean, the gap to Matty's 3.1 seconds, but you're damn sure Matty's going to see that and try and push like crazy. And Shiv now getting through in Leon Evans. So Leon down to P5. Whips keeping his ass on the inside there. Oh, you're not going to find the grip out there. There'll be a little bit of contact. He's going to try. He just keeps poking his nose in there. And now it's a drag race up to turn 1, but Dixie's still got his car on the inside. Oh, and I think this is going to give Skarma the... Oh, and that was dangerous. That was very dangerous indeed. Skarma done very well to react to that, and now Finnegan and the Williams, so maybe have a look at Rip. Oh, and that was exciting stuff there between them. So Matty's got himself inside that penalty gap. That boy is pushing. So Matty eyeing up a P2. The Shiv can find a little bit of a time. Could he scrub in Lukolas? Oh, Lukolas got through. I never even noticed that. Lukolas is into the lead of the race and now trying to absolutely check out from his penalty. But look at Aston Martin P1 and P3 for the day. They are in a very good place this evening. And it looks to be a tactical masterclass from Lukolas. Will the penalty be a hindrance in the end? We will find out. But K-Pax will not give up without a fight. You're going to bet your bottom dollar he's going to do his best to hang on to this. So Lukolas is another fastest lap of the race, but never really gained a lot there. So K-Pax probably pretty much matching that lap time. Only out by a tenth or two, and they're pushing to the point now that they are starting to leave Matty. So is Dixie, I mean, even if he gets up to that fight, his battles for P6, I think he's just got to hold that now. I think the main one here is, can Shiv get through and Matty? Matty and Shiv are in a big battle here for P2, P3 borderline. If Shiv keeps this gaining momentum up on Matty, he's probably going to want to clear him quickly because he might feel he can get himself within that penalty gap. But Lukolas now got himself up over a second ahead of the K-Pax. So Lukolas looking comfortable at the moment. 4 laps to go. And he sets another fastest lap of the race, 29.7. Dixie is there. I still don't think he's got the world saying that straight line speed differential. Maybe it'll allow him to get through and clear, but Mika Landa now picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. He's down there in P13. Won't affect him too much. We got a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2. Oh, and Minam's out of the session. Oh, am I going to have a 1 lap safety car in that? Oh, poor Lukolas. Oh my god, that is hurtful. So it's going to be 1 lap, 1 and done for the safety car. It will literally pick up the leader and go in at the end of the lap. So how does it play out from here? So no pitters, absolutely sensible. So that, I mean, at this point this could be a podium up in smoke for Lukolas. Ah, that stings, I feel for him, man. Because tactically and strategically he's executed the race perfectly today, and I know K-Pax has been there and always been at the front, but strategically alone, K-Pax deserves it. Lukolas deserves it, sorry, Chuck. So Matty looking good for a P2 at the moment. Shiv says podium gone. Well, that's the sniff open back up. They will get the call safety car in this lap. I am pretty much sure of that. Yes, there it is. So as I was saying, it's one and done for the safety car. It picked the leader up and it's coming in the same lap. So Lukolas has got to get this right. So back to clean flag racing. Lukolas has got us going. K-Pax in P2, Matty in P3, Shiv in P4, Leon in P5. Dixie being put under pressure from Rip, but he's going to be unable to get. Oh, he's just sent it across the corner there. I think he's chucked Dixie along the corner with him and picked up another penalty for good measure. And now Dixie's been swarmed by absolutely everybody, and there's not much you can do about that. And we have a yellow flag now. Oh, something happened to Dixie and Finnegan. Oh, I think they have come together and it's all boiled over at the back. But up front, Lukolas leads the way. K-Pax in P2, Matty in P3, Shiv in P4, Leon's out there in P5. 1.8 seconds back, but pretty safe from the cars behind because they've picked up penalties. And Lukolas is going to have one more lap after this to try and get as much of a gap as he can. Let's have a look at the leader gap. He's got a podium at the moment. Oh, he's got P4 at the moment, but Shiv is very much inside that window and a podium is on, although the gap is going out. So they need to keep this last lap as clean as they possibly can. So Lukolas got the gap out to 1.1 seconds. How much gap can he put on? Shiv now trying to push. He's 2.5 seconds. So half a second he's got to work with for the podium. He's got Matty up ahead of him. We got Leon Evans there in P5 as well. 4.1 seconds. He's still going to secure himself a top 5 finish nevertheless. So Lukolas onto this back straight for the last time, sets a purple sector. He's got the gap now to Shiv. Oh, it's on the bubble, so Shiv needs to be picture perfect and maybe... Oh, is there this attack? Is it going to cost him the time? He's 2.6 seconds. He gets round. That's a great overtake there from Shiv. He gets that one done, but it's put him to just over 3 seconds now behind, and Matty's going to put him under pressure again, and it's going to cost them both in the end. This fighting is going to cost them both. There's a little bit of contact, but I think now Lukolas is going to have secured P2 because the gap's out to 3.5 seconds. Lukolas now, he's got one corner to go, and he has just been handed a ticket to the podium because Shiv and Matty battle commenced in the last sector, and Lukolas will take the checker flag and he will get, although in the end P2, K-Pax will come home for a solid P2, and Shiv and Matty, I think Shiv got the podium in the end. He does, he gets P3, Matty in 4, Leon P5, Skarma 6, Rip in P7, Michelando 8, Dale P9, Dixie gets up to P10, Robbers drops, oh, way down the order. and it was all change at the end. K-Pax P1, Lukolas P2, and Shiv in the P3. And driver of the day, Lukolas, I can agree there, that would be my driver of the day without a doubt. Strategically, he got the race absolutely spot on, hurt by a late safety car. I think P2 was always going to be what it was anyway, so that's best case scenario for him. And Shiv gets the better of the Mate battle, which allowed Lukolas to obviously open that gap and hold off the P2, and Shiv gets the podium that he thought he lost, but it was a gutsy effort from Mate to try and hold him off. A very entertaining race in the end. Who knows what happened between the likes of Dixie and Finnegan and Rip further back in the order, but let's see if we can get Lukolas, Shiv and K-Pax in. If K-Pax can come in, it'll need to be one of those. But let's get Shiv and Lucozade, as we call him. Is that the right gamer tag? 1 second, chat. Yeah, I think it is. So, oh, Lukolas, I cannot add you because of your settings, so if you're watching the stream, I can't add into the party. Good evening, Shiv. Shiv,
hello guys.
If K-Pax is in, do you have the ability to add him to this party? Is that possible?
I don't think so. I can ask, bear with me.
Anyone that could maybe jump into this party and then add them quick?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask now.
I can't add Lukolas either because of his settings. I think that's because I don't have him as a friend.
Can you invite Rob?
Yes, of course. Of course. Bear with me 1 second. There you go.
Cool. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Just wondering if you can invite Luke. I don't have the ability.
And K-Pax,
yes.
if possible, Rob. Can you add K-Pax?
Don't know.
Actually, once Luke's in, Luke will be able to do it.
Yeah, let's add Luke, and he might know how to do it because he's probably got more ability than I've got.
Thank you, thank you.
Luke Jones, I'll leave.
Do you know K-Pax's PSN name that he joins the party on?
He's on PC, mate.
Hello?
Luke, can you add K-Pax to the chat?
Yeah,
We're thick and don't know how to do it because we're old.
That's alright.
Right, I shall leave you guys to it.
Thank you very much,
Rob.
Rob.
I'll see you in a bit.
In a bit.
Oh, man.
So we'll get K-Pax in and then we'll jump to it.
Right, I've sent him one.
Right, marvellous.
Right, we'll just start with yourself then, Shiv. We'll go third to first since K-Pax is on his way. A bit of a slugfest. Asteria's never pleasant in the wet, so I don't know how that felt for you to go through the full race in the kind of conditions.
It felt absolutely fine. I had pace, I was really enjoying it. I just got taken out on a couple of occasions, and I'm glad I got a podium in the end, but
I was going to say that to you, it's maybe a story of what could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
But nevertheless, a good result.
Yeah, happy with the podium. I'm not here next week, so yeah, happy with the podium.
So some points in the bag, and your race as a whole, Shiv, you felt comfortable in the car. That's obviously the ideal scenario when you walk into a Grand Prix that's wet. If you find comfort, you seem to get the result. For 7th on the grid to P3, I think all in all...
Yeah, I was happy with the overtakes I made. I did the overtake on the last lap to get on the podium.
A very splendid one indeed.
Just have real confidence in the car to be able to do things like that. So yeah, it was a good race, but also a case of it could have been a bit more. But Luke's pace was really, really quick. I think me and K-Pax I was just about catching him in one stint until I got taken out. But Luke's pace was really, really quick.
Was that with Rips? Was that contact with the
Yeah,
Haas at top
there
one?
was the contact on the safety car restart, which dropped me down to 6th when I was up in 2nd, and then he budged me again a couple of laps later, and it lost me about 2-3 seconds, and then I think I think he had an unfortunate race, so struggling to find a brake pedal possibly.
Yeah, possibly the latter, from maybe some of the things I've seen as well. But that's
Okay.
a story for another time.
Mhm.
But nevertheless,
No, absolutely.
P3, Shiv, good
Yep.
points in the bag, as you say, you're not here next week, so that gives you some comfort of sustaining something on your
Yeah,
return.
absolutely. I don't want to be a number 2 driver at McLaren, especially not so early in the season. So, so yeah, there was one point during the race that I was nearly about to do team orders, which made me feel good about myself. Rob being a world champion and all. But yeah, really enjoyed the race. It was a good race.
And I'm happy to see you back on the podium. I think this is the first time I spoke to you in a few races, Shiv, so it's good to see you back, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
You're very welcome. Luke, on to yourself. I said it on stream, an absolute strategical masterclass today.
I just thought it was worth the gamble.
That gamble was a spectacular one at the time. Did you know it was going to be so powerful?
He just said, he was saying they were the same pace. I was like, why would I not get some fresh tyres on while there's a safety car so early? I would have had to go in again anyway, but obviously there's a lot of safety cars, so kind of worked out really well. I mean, there was always going to be the risk, and the rate they were coming, you may as well take the gambles when they were there.
And it's a shame, look, because I kind of feel like you get mugged twice in that race with safety cars. Because you were in a situation where you had got that strategical call to go in the inters, perfect to the point. I think from what I was looking at, you were set to be about 12 seconds clear of K-Pax. You were going to be so far up the road it was disgusting, and then of course the safety car came out and put the brakes on that. And then of course at the end,
it would have been nice if if they'd all pit and then the safety car came out, so then I could have my next pit.
That's where I won on that one. Yeah, that's where me and K-Pax really had a blinder there when that happened.
But I still came out in 6th, I think, after that, so I was still benefited massively from where I was. And that last one at the end, I mean, I tried my best to get the 3 seconds. I got 2, I think, by the end, but the fastest lap was like 9/10 quicker than the second one, I think, when I looked.
Yeah, it was a very quick. And I think as well, look, maybe looking at the times now, K-Pax was able to hang on. I think with 3 laps to go, I think the gap between yourself and K-Pax was still going to be within 3 seconds. So I don't actually think you lost much by that safety car. You just managed to get the gap to... You can actually thank Shiv and Matty because they get themselves into a little bit of a scuffle in the last few corners, and that gave you the half-second gap you needed to stay out the range and get what looked to be a P2 anyway.
Yeah, I was more frustrated I got the penalty in the first place, really, because I went off the same place like a couple of times, but it didn't seem to penalise you. And then
turn 5 by any chance? Yeah, that's not the first time I've heard of that.
And then I got one, and I was following quite closely to till ahead of K-Pax, and it's just one of them in it. So got the move done and tried to build a gap. But the thing is, I didn't have any battery really to like proper push on to grow a gap. Whereas after the safety car, I just used all the battery to try and pull away. So
it was you certainly put on a show. I was shocked. Look, you came. I never realised you took that gamble because it was quite an obscure time to do it. Everybody looked quite set, and then out of nowhere, I seen you set the fastest lap. That's a question I wanted to ask. Were you surprised when you set that fastest lap on you pretty much straight away on your inters? Were you surprised that more of the leaders didn't react to that straight away?
So there's a couple of laps after I was on them, I think I set it. It was basically, I came out of the pits and I could feel that they were working, but I lost the temperature quite quick under the safety car. So the first 2 laps were a bit ropey, but as soon as you got the temperature back up, they felt as good as what I felt on the wets. And you know it's only going to get better if the track's drying.
Yeah.
As soon as I managed to get into a little bit of clean air, I think it took me a couple of laps to pass some of the slower cars, because it was quite hard to follow around some of the certain corners when they were a bit slower. A little bit of clean air, and I set it on the first one then. I think as soon as I set it, I heard in the chat we were in, they were all like, oh, there's the purple, we need to start thinking about it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Ah, fair enough. So, a very good day in the office, Luke, and a very enjoyable watch. You made that until you kind of sparked the life back into the race, just as it was at kind of maybe a lull. And then it all
was very
just
fun.
kicked off from
It was
there.
very
It was, for a wet Australia, it was a very enjoyable race to do comms on as well. Usually wet races are just processions, but people were racing tonight and it was good to see.
I think it's good to have different strategies sometimes, because then you just don't really know what's going to happen, and that's
I agree.
where some of the excitement comes in then.
I agree. I think, yeah, the tyres are too boring at the moment, especially in the dry. It's kind of one strategy wins most races, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, P2, look, a very, very good day, and very well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
K-Pax,
Hello.
good evening. You were a bit of a technician this evening, sir. You had
Yeah.
so many opportunities and so many chances, and you struck me as a man playing the long game. You're a man with your eyes further in the season. You've took that momentum from the last race last season and kind of grabbed it. Not quite sure what happened last week, of course, I wasn't here, but what I seen today was somebody with patience but conviction when the time comes, and I think if you keep that kind of stuff up, you're going to be a very hard man to stop this season. How was the race for you?
Oh, well, thank you for those, Chris. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's all about the long game, really. Straight away, as soon as I saw it was wet, I put my wet setup on. So I knew that I'd play to my advantage. So that made a big, big difference. And yeah, I just had to bide my time behind P2. And then once I knew I got past him, I should be all right to take P1. But yeah, it was a game of patience with that many safety cars anyway.
And then when you see Luca last coming, did you know that he without that safety car he was going to put a big gap on you? Did that come as a shock to you as well? Like you guys fighting right at the front?
As soon as he got behind me, I knew it was probably game over because I had the wet setup on and he had a decent dry setup. So on the straights, they were catching me 3/10 on that big long straight. So
Yeah.
it was really, really bad. So I don't know. I was keeping up with him towards the end, and I did start catching him, but I don't know. I think the safety car did help me, but I was keeping on him. So, but he was fast nonetheless.
So I was trying,
He pulled a beautiful move earlier in the race on the Haas. I think it was turn 3, 4, 5. You went around the outside of him. It was very nice.
Oh, were you not here last week, K-Pax? Is this your first race of the season?
Yeah, my first race, so I had a lot to make up for. I was going to come charging out the gates like the prancing horse because last week I had connection issues, so I was really down with that. I was trying my best to get on and I couldn't, so I had a lot to make up for, and I did, so I'm really happy.
Well, that's a statement made, and you'll be happy to know after the result, even with the results through the grid, even with missing a race, I think there's only going to be 20 to 25 points separating probably about 15 drivers after tonight, which is pretty mental. I know it's only race 2, but we've already seen for the first 2 races different people at the top, different winners, different podiums, and we've seen P0's the type of league as well where in change of strategy the race can just turn on its head in an instant.
Yeah, it was definitely fun tonight.
So, are your eyes for further on in the season? K-Pax, is this what we expect to see most weeks?
Yeah, professionalism, lots of practice, and bringing the A game. Got to give it a challenge. But
That's what we
there
like
are some
to hear.
fast people out there, so yeah, you're gonna have to get everything right really to challenge them. One mistake, I think it's gonna cost you. So.
Yeah, I think we're set up for a very, very entertaining season in P0. When you look at qualifyings and how races are, yeah, I think it's going to feel a very long road for some drivers and a very stressful one. But very good job, Luke. Sorry, K-Pax, I'm getting all confused.
Thank you.
A
Thank you.
thoroughly deserved race victory. Look, obviously with your penalty, maybe what could have been, but nevertheless, I think
Yeah, unlucky, Luke.
It's all good.
Yeah,
still in the long term and how you were up there, K-Pax, you certainly deserve to be P1 or P2 anyway, you know. So I think you still walk away with the race with the right result. So very good job, and to yourself, Luke, and to you, Shiv.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we see.
Thank you.
Where do you go next week? You just follow
Japan,
the
I think.
calendar.
Japan, I think.
Oh no,
Japan.
Japan race 3. Well, that's going
Yeah,
to be.
we're going. We've decided to be eco-friendly, Chris, and leaving as less of a global footprint as possible. So we're going east to west.
I like
So
that
start
all the way
Australia,
across the
finish.
world.
Yeah, we're doing it that way.
That's
Something a bit different.
like it. So a quick one before we wrap up for the night from all. Japan, K-Pax, yes or no? Good track, bad track?
I would say medium. Yeah, it's not one of my favourites, but you know, I'm going to give it everything. So everyone get ready.
That's what we like to hear. And Lukolas, good or bad, Japan?
I didn't have the best race there last time, but I had a bit of an issue in the pit, so hopefully I can have a better one.
So out
they
for
didn't
some
change my
redemption?
wing when I needed them to, and that was it.
Oh, so redemption?
Maybe, but I think I had a few spins as well, so I need to do a bit of practice, probably.
And Shiv, yourself?
I absolutely adore Japan. I'm gutted I'm not racing.
Oh, of course you're not here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my
damn
probably
it.
top 3 tracks. I love Japan.
Ah, well,
So there we are. No mind.
maybe I'll speak to you in 2 weeks instead. You can just make up for it, Shiv.
Yeah, I think it's Singapore after.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I don't like Singapore to be fair. So.
hey, very good job tonight, boys. It was an absolute pleasure. And
Thank
the
you, sir.
channel will be live again tomorrow with OTL at Imola. That should be a very entertaining race indeed. I won't be there, but who does comms on a Monday now? Who is it?
No one of them.
Nobody? No, Skarma. Skarma.
Oh, yes, of course it does.
Skarma will be here tomorrow because the grid is full. So, until then, we will see you very, very soon.